I only made one snatch, one clean and jerk. And then it was when I got back, I like put my foot down. I was like, hey, I'm not lifting shit until I get an x-ray. And like they x-rayed it and they're like, oh yeah, there's break right here, right here. And
what, did the coach feel bad?
I mean, I feel for him now that I have a little more life experience, and like at the time hated the guy. But now that I know the situation he was in, he was under pressure for keeping his job to like, hey, you need to produce athletes. Like none of the American athletes are doing well on the world scene, but it's like USA is one of the very few countries that competes clean. And so it's like, how do you compete? You know?
Yeah.
So he had this outside pressure to like produce an athlete, whether it was the right way or wrong way.
Isn't that fucked up, that statement that you just said? But I know it to be true. When you said the USA is one of the few countries that competes clean, it's actually true.
Oh,
and so strange.
I remember at the junior worlds that I competed at, the winning guy in my weight class snatched more than what I clean and jerked. Like this like 18-year-old kid, and he like power snatched 155 kilos. Was
Where's
crazy.
he from?
I want to say he was like somewhere over in Europe, and I'm pretty sure it was like the whole podium got popped. It's kind of like, I remember like the 2008 Olympics, like the 94 kilo class, they started testing down, and it's like currently it's like 9th place guy has the bronze medal because they just kept testing down.
So did they pop him right after the competition, or did they pop him
I think it's
in
like
the future?
years later,
Yeah.
because it's like at the time with the drug, they don't know how to test for it.
Right.
And so they save the samples, and then years later they figure out how to test for this stuff.
Did you see Icarus?
I watched like the first bit of it. Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's just crazy. Like, if there's a sport with money, people test for us and figure out, like, all right, if this comes up, how do we deal with it?
How did you get involved? What was? Did you just walk into a class one day and get
Kind of
excited
funny.
by it?
So I have a background in Olympic weightlifting. Did that for 10 years, lived at the Olympic Training Center. Like, my goal was to go to the Olympics for weightlifting. And then that didn't pan out, and like started focusing on school. And then I just kind of, I guess, just gained the freshman 15. So I was like, all right, I either need to start working out again or change my diet. So I was like, oh, I'll start working out. And, you know, trying to find an Olympic weightlifting gym they're like a needle in a haystack, but CrossFits are everywhere. And so I just like Googled CrossFit near me, because they use all the same equipment, like the barbells and bumpers. And so I just showed up, introduced myself, was like, hey, like, I don't want to do your CrossFit thing. I'll be in the back room just doing clean and jerks and squats. And just kept doing that, kind of showing up on a irregular basis. And then one of the girls from the gym who was a competitor was just kind of like bribing me into workouts every once in a while. Like, oh, you might be good at this one. Give this one a try. Give this one a try. And the owner of the gym actually signed me up for my first competition, because he's like, hey, I think you have potential in this. You should give this a try. And so we made a deal that he signed me up and paid my entry fee. And then if I won any money, I had to buy a pair of CrossFit shoes. And,
what are CrossFit shoes?
I mean, at the time, it was like the Reeboks, like the minimalist shoes.
Okay.
Like I was working out in Air Max 90s. And so he's like, anything's better than that.
And what year was this?
This would be back in like 2012. And so anyways, I won the competition, got a couple $100, and was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Like, just pocket money for a college kid. Like, are there more competitions like this? And so they showed me where to find these competitions, and I just kind of started driving around the Northeast, like all of New England. And if there was prize money at a competition, I was signing up. And so I basically looked at it like a part-time job of, like, while I'm in school full-time and broke, I can make some pocket money. And yeah, just kind of, I was like, all right, if I want to keep winning these competitions, I need to work on my weaknesses, get better. And then just kind of fell in love with it, and it just ratcheted up bit by bit until like I'm at the world championships, and I'm like, oh shit, how did I get here?
And then you won over and over and over again, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a weird start, man, to something that you not just excelled at. I mean, I think you're the winningest guy ever, right?
Yeah, I've been on the podium 7 times, and I've won it the last 5 years.
That's bananas.
Yeah, I mean,
For someone who started off as a lark.
Yeah, I'm not blind to it. Like, I'll be sitting with my fiance, like, you know, just when these cool opportunities get plopped in front of me, and I'm like, how how did I end up here? Like, this wasn't supposed to be my life. You know, I was a mechanical engineer, you know, like I thought my sports career was over with Olympic weightlifting. You know, I broke my back. Like it was a whole,
What did you do to your back?
broke my L5 in 2 spots.
Oh,
Yeah.
how?
Just training too heavy too often. And,
It just fractured the actual bone.
yeah, like the little wings off the side.
Oh,
It was on 2 separate occasions too.
Oh
It was
no!
like they were like a week or 2 apart from each other. And
So wait, hold on. You broke one and then you kept lifting?
yeah, I didn't really have a choice. So I was living at the Olympic Training Center, and like there was a lot of pressure on the program to like produce. And I was on the junior world team. I was leaving for Romania in a couple weeks to compete, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. I wasn't training as smart as I should have been, and so the first one I was doing like a clean pull, so just like a deadlift with a big explosion at the top, and like loud pop on one side, and I dropped the bar, and like it. Have you ever seen those heat packs that have the little clicky thing in them?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like when it like clicked, and then it just like the inflammation just spreading, and so you know, go to my room, lay down for a couple days, and then
Get an
you know
MRI?
it was oh, I knew something was wrong. Like I've never had an injury like that. You know, I couldn't move.
Did you get an X-ray? Did you get an MRI?
No, because it was like I was leaving for the competition in like 2 weeks, so it was like too late to call the alternate to like replace me.
So you wait. Do they know that you're this injured?
I mean, I told them like, hey,
And they're like,
like,
"Suck it up, pussy."
I'm injured, and I was told like, hey, there's a difference between pain and injury, and I was like, okay, I'll get back to lifting. And so then a couple days goes by, and I'm being super cautious, like basically stripped all the weight out of my training. I'm just moving, and then what was it? It was heavy back squat, and like load up, and you're going for like a new 1 rep max, like a week before you get on the airplane, and yeah, I hit the bottom of the hole, left side goes.
Oh, jeez.
And so anyways, went to the competition, did terribly, you know, like the coach was like, hey, what's your goal for this competition? I was like, I just don't want to bomb out. I just want to make one lift in each. And he's like, okay, we'll make